Disco is back and it's saving lives. To learn more, go to heart.org/hands-only-CPR.
Nationally supported by the Wellpoint Foundation.
Oh, you pressed the wrong button. Oh, residual.
This is Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network with Phil Kornblut and Matt Smith. Join us on air from our affiliates across the state or streaming online at sportstalksc.com and on Twitter at sportstalksc. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call us is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, from our Columbia studios, here's Phil Kornblut.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk Media Network. Another beautiful day here in the state of South Carolina. We're so glad to be with you on this Wednesday, the eve of the Masters. Looking forward to that teeing off in the morning. We're going to hear from defending champion South Carolinian Dustin Johnson here on the program tonight as he talks about carrying around the green jacket for, well, not even a year. That's the unfortunate part for him. You know, usually you win it in April and you get to wear it and take it around and of course it's yours, I guess a replica. But, you know, for the year, you are the man with the jacket. However, because he won it in November, his time as the reigning champ, much shorter. Of course, now he can go out and win it again this week, and he feels like he's got the game in shape to do it. He was quizzed by the media yesterday, and we'll bring some of that to you tonight. You'll hear from Dustin talking in detail about his game, about his driver, things about Augusta National and what it's been like to be the Masters champion since November, and tucking that major championship away on his resume. So we'll hear from him tonight. More Gamecock football we heard today as the Gamecocks had practice number 5 this morning. And we heard afterwards from Justin Stepp, the wide receivers coach, and Torian Gray, the secondary coach. We'll hear from Justin Stepp on the show tonight as he talks about in detail his receiving core, which, you know, there's a great deal of concern about that receiving core because of the way it performed last year, because of the departure of Shi Smith, but largely overlooked in all the conversations about the Gamecock receiving core is the return of Ortre Smith to help and the return of Ortre Smith to the lineup. And that is like, really, you think about it, recruiting-wise, that's like landing a 4-star recruit, Ortre Smith. He should be, if healthy, he should be a big-time contributor. He's big, he's strong, he's experienced. And you mix in what they're doing there with the plethora of quality tight ends that they have, they could have a very good mix there at the wide receiver and tight end positions there at South Carolina. So we will hear from him tonight as well. Also coming up, Mark Kingston, USC baseball coach, had a Zoom session with the media today. We'll bring you some of that. Gamecocks quickly flushing that loss to North Carolina last night, 3-2 in 10 innings. The bats were pretty silent for them last night. You know, we talked leading into the game. This is why you can never compare numbers in baseball and draw any kind of conclusion because you just don't know. Remember, we talked about how the ERA for North Carolina was higher than South Carolina's. Their starting pitcher's ERA was over 5, and the Gamecocks were starting Mahoney, and his ERA was really good, and all the strikeouts and walks. And Mahoney did pitch well. Gamecocks got good pitching. They just couldn't hit last night. Only 3 hits, and they did have a home run from Seitler, but they had a chance. They had a chance to win it in the 9th, but couldn't get a runner home from 3rd. So the Gamecocks will flush that and get ready to host Missouri. Missouri coming in on Friday, coming off a win itself over the weekend against Texas A&M. They won the last 2 in that series to beat Texas A&M. So South Carolina, Missouri coming up this weekend. Same rotation plans for this weekend for South Carolina. It'll be Farr on Friday night and Jordan on Saturday and TBA on Sunday. So that is what we have for you there tonight. And, of course, a visit tonight from our friends over at Erskine as we continue our series of updates on sports teams at Erskine College. And we'll be doing some men's volleyball talking tonight. We had the women's volleyball coach on last week. We'll do uh, some research on the men's side as their season continues. And it's an SC Wild Night here on Sports Talk. Major Billy Downer's got a great show planned for us at 7:30. One thing he's going to feature on, you're going to love this. I love it. I know Pat loves it. Everybody in South Carolina loves it. We're going to talk a lot about flounder and flounder fishing in South Carolina. Who doesn't love a delicious piece of fried flounder or maybe even broiled flounder? However you happen to like it, who doesn't love a piece of delicious flounder caught off the coast of South Carolina? We remain away from the studio tonight. We are on a research mission. Still haven't found what we're looking for, but we're going to continue to look. Pat Daniels back in our studio. Matt Smith is on vacation. Tomorrow night we'll be at the Players Club in downtown Columbia. Looking forward to a 2-night stay there, Thursday and Friday. Going along with our Masters coverage, Don Williams will join us tomorrow night. George Bryan will join us tomorrow night. So we'll be all over the Masters for you tomorrow night, as everybody else is, of course. It is the big thing in the world this time of the year. We're no different. We like following the Masters and talking about things we really don't know anything about, such as, how that drive was able to, fade from one side to the other, and how that 75-yard gap wedge was able to hit 5 yards beyond the pin and back up to within 3 inches. Things that folks like you and me really don't understand. Our phone number tonight here on Sports Talk, if you'd like to join us, 888-898-2525, South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. And did you know that since 2002, more than $174 million in lottery proceeds have been used to purchase, maintain, and fuel over 2,000 school buses in South Carolina? You can learn more about the South Carolina Education Lottery's impact at seducation.com/education. Wins playing for fun is a win for education. We'll have recruiting, of course, coming up for you in this hour. Last night, South Carolina made an offer to a quarterback in the 22 class, Braden Davis, and we'll tell you what he had to say about that. This is a 4-star quarterback. He's a big kid. He comes highly acclaimed, got a lot of big-time offers. South Carolina's going after him hard. I would say this is probably the guy that the Gamecocks really want as their quarterback in the 22 class, and he's very interested in South Carolina. He was really impressed with what he saw on a Zoom and a virtual visit. Of course, he made a personal visit just a few weeks ago to look at the campus, part of a series of visits he made on a trip to the Southeast. He went to NC State, he went to Duke, he went to Georgia Tech. South Carolina's got a good shot here, considering their needs at quarterback and what he is looking for. And I think he is really impressed by what Shane Beamer has told him and what Marcus Satterfield has told him. So we'll bring you more information on that coming up a little bit later on tonight. And we'll update Major League Baseball. We'll update college baseball. We can tell you all of a sudden the Braves, well, finally they're on the winning side, Pat. The Braves today take 2 from the Nationals. They beat them 7-6 and 2-0. So they found a way to win in the first game. I think the first game was the 7-6 game, and then they won the nightcap 2-0 in D.C. So after starting the season 0-4, Braves fans, you can exhale. You're on the board. You got a couple of wins, and you got to be feeling better about that. And Pat, it's a long season. Baseball season it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. No reason to sweat an 0-4 start. You got plenty of time.
That's right. And one thing that's encouraging is the bats have started off fairly hot for the Braves. Both Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr. have both multiple home runs. Acuna hit 2 yesterday. Right now, it's the pitching that seems to not quite be ready for the season. They are still in spring training form. But I think in a few weeks, this Braves team will be much improved.
Yeah. They got too much talent. They got too much talent not to score runs. They got a good pitching staff, so they're going to win their games, and they're going to be fine. They're going to be right in the middle of it. So the Braves pick up a couple of wins today. Let me give you some other Major League Baseball scores. The Brewers beat the Cubs in 10, 4-2. Rangers over the Blue Jays, 2-1. Twins over the Tigers, 3-2. Red Sox beat the Rays 9-2. Indians over the Royals 4-2. Reds blasted the Pirates 11-4. And we have games in action. Cardinals 2-0 over the Marlins, going to the 8th. White Sox 3-1 over the Mariners. That's bottom of 5. Giants 2-1 over the Padres, going to the 7th. Make that bottom of the 6th. Phillies all over the Mets 7-1. They're in the bottom of the 5th. It's the Dodgers 3-2 over the Athletics, and that's top of the 8th. Game coming up later, the Orioles against those lovable, huggable, squeezable New York Yankees. All right. Clemson golf team wins. We'll tell you about that after the break. We got some other notes to pass along. Deshaun Watson news, Tiger Woods news. You want to jump on board, do so. 888-898-2525. We'll get to your phone calls here in a little bit. And then coming up, we're going to hear from Dustin Johnson. We're going to hear from Justin Stepp. We're going to hear from Mark Kingston. A visit from Erskine and SC Wild. You can't find a more action-packed show anywhere tonight than right here on Sports Talk. Glad you're with us. We'll be back after the break.
Life. It has its ups and downs. Sometimes it's little things like hitting every red light or dropping your cell phone. Maybe it's the bills, rent, or pressure at work. But when it comes to the South Carolina Education Lottery, you should never feel like playing will solve everything. The lottery is a game. It's played for fun. So set a dollar amount. Expect not to win and make sure responsibilities, family, friends, and work come first. Visit playresponsiblysc.com.
Enjoy life to the fullest with tasty peanuts that pack a lot of flavor. When it comes to eating peanuts, the research is clear. Peanuts improve your health. Peanuts, a snack that gives back. Crack some open today for a nutritious, sustainable, and earth-friendly treat. Be sure to stop by your local grocery store produce section to pick up a bag of roasted in-shell peanuts. Brought to you by the South Carolina Peanut Board. Visit aboutpeanuts.com for delicious peanut-based recipes.
If you're looking for a great weekend escape, make for Santee, South Carolina and Clark's Inn and Restaurant. Santee provides the perfect backdrop for recreation and adventure. Clark's provides the perfect backdrop for relaxation. Just minutes from Santee Cooper Lakes and 3 championship golf courses, Clark's Inn and Restaurant is a short drive from wherever you are in the Palmetto State. Since 1946, the Clark's Hospitality has been making Santee easy to find, but hard to leave. Visit clarksinandrestaurant.com today.
Hey, folks, mortgage rates have dipped to their lowest levels in recent history. And with home values up in many areas, now may be the perfect time to refinance your home. Whether you're looking to lower your monthly payments, free up cash for home improvements, or just pay off your home faster, a quick call to the one and only Stuart Wingo of Ameris Bank could save you money. If you're looking for competitive rates and exceptional service, call Stuart Wingo, 803-319-1777. That's 803-319-1777. You will save money just like I have so many times over the years. You can also visit him, amerisbank.com/Stuart Wingo. Stuart Wingo, the man with the plan for all your mortgage needs.
The future of golf is waiting for you at the Players Club. Rain, shine, or after dark, you can enjoy the game of golf anytime at Columbia's Indoor Country Club. The Players Club delivers the most realistic golf experience and offers more than 90 championship courses. Play or practice with the same state-of-the-art full-swing simulators used by Tiger Woods and Jordan Spieth. Visit maincoursesc.com to book a bay and become a player today at the Players Club, part of the Main Course, 1626 Main Street in Columbia.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I love sports, and I've helped people for over 30 years. Contact me at jim@jimcorbettattorney.com when the insurance company won't pay your claim or you have complicated issues. Some other business causes your business to lose money, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. When you lose a relative and find out you got cut out of a will or don't get what was promised. When you have serious injury, like from a wreck or mishap or on the job, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com.
There are no words to describe it. The isolation, the boredom, the loneliness. If you're wondering where your teenage son or daughter's spirit went, you're hardly alone. The past year has been devastating, especially for them. But here's the good news. They might just find it again, playing high school sports. Workouts that stimulate, teammates and coaches that care, the sense of belonging so many of us have been missing lately. That's what school sports are all about. The sense of achievement is real, and the camaraderie is hard to beat. Coping with uncertainty is difficult, but school sports can help the teenagers in your family start feeling like themselves again. Encourage them to give it a try. High school sports, it's so much more than a game.
This message presented by the South Carolina High School League and the South Carolina Athletic Administrators Association.
Okay, we're back on Sports Talk. Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut on the road and Pat Daniel back at our studios in downtown Columbia. 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number here on Sports Talk. Hey, by the way, if you're like me and you're out searching for some place to go and relax and just enjoy life, let me suggest you head down to Pawleys Island or to Litchfield or to the coast of South Carolina. And before you do, you give Jimmy Smith a call at James Smith Realty at 843-237-4246. He knows the coast better than anybody. He knows the homes, he knows the condos, he knows the land. And he can put you in any of that, or he can put you on some land. If you want to buy something, you want to build something, begin with a call to Jimmy Smith. Say, Jimmy, you heard it on Sports Talk. I heard it on Sports Talk. They brag about you. They say what a great guy you are. Can you help me? His answer will be absolutely. 843-237-4246. 843-237-4246, your perfect beach getaway. Good time to get away to the beach, to the Grand Strand of South Carolina. Also, PawleysVacationRentals.com online. Again, that number, 843-237-4246. And breaking news. And South Carolina's picked up another transfer basketball player. Forward A.J. Wilson announced on social media this afternoon, not too long ago. He is coming from, I said George Mason, right? He's coming from George Mason, A.J. Wilson. And he is 230 all-time leader in blocks with 212. He was all Atlantic 10 all defense this season. He averaged about 7 points, 4.5 rebounds, 114 games. And so that helps to offset what's going on at South Carolina, the revolving door on the roster. If you checked out our website, sportstalksc.com, overnight, I put up a story about with Justin Minaya leaving, just what the Gamecock roster was looking like at this point. Of course, we're expecting, be shocked if A.J. Lawson doesn't put his name in the NBA draft once again. He's done it twice before. The question is, will he go ahead and sign with an agent, or will he also put his name in the portal with plans to transfer elsewhere? But as it stands right now, just assuming, and now we add this young man, Wilson, to the Gamecocks roster, let's assume Seventh Woods decides to come back and use his free year. And let's assume Lawson does not leave as things stand now. So you'd have 6'2 Seventh Woods, 6'2 Jacoby Wright, 6'2 Chico Carter Jr., 6'4 Devin Carter, 6'5 Carlos Williams, who's signing on April 26th. That's his grandfather's birthday. He's a kid out of Mississippi that's been committed. 6'6 A.J. Lawson, 6'6 Trey Anderson, 6'7 Javon Benson, 6'7 the Wilson kid. He's 6'7, and he would be added right into that part. A.J. Wilson, be added in right there on the roster from a height standpoint. 6'8 Alonzo Frink, 6'8 Taquan Woodley, 6'9 Trayvon Minote, and 6'10 Wildens Levesque. So that is what the roster would look like at this point in time. They still have an additional scholarship to give, Now, the way it stands right now, with Wilson coming in, that should put him at 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That would put him at 13. That would max him out. But further departures are expected, of course, and we'll see what happens. So, and we still don't have any word from South Carolina about the contract with Frank Martin. But the way that they were, Pat? What word would you use for what hard to say it, Darla Moore, not Dollar Moore, Darla Moore? What word in your vocabulary would you use for what she did to the University of South Carolina board and administration with her letter that the Post and Courier picked up on last night?
She eviscerated them first and foremost. If you want one word, I would say she eviscerated them. But if I want to be a little more comical, maybe appeal to the younger crowd, she pwned them or owned them, took them all to task.
What's that word again?
It's kind of a joke. Remember how a month or two ago there was the big stock market drive from the memes, or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like that. It's a term for when you own somebody called pwned. It's popular in video games and with internet streamers and so forth. But I saw a lot of people tweeting last night that she pwned the university.
She pwned. I have never heard that. I guess that's just another era. Yeah, she took them. How about this? This is from my era. She took them to the woodshed and she reddened their backsides.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one to use. Listen, every one of those members of the board, administration members, whatever, whoever is the person over there in charge of, shall we say, major donors. And don't you think if you're dealing with somebody like Darla Moore, there's a person over there who knows everything about her, her family, everything in her life to make sure they don't have a misstep. Obviously, somebody at Clemson was keeping an eye on things, right? Because they responded when her mother passed away. Boy, she is really ticked. I don't know that based on that letter and the type of person she apparently is, I mean, you're not going to be able to make amends to her with this. She sounds like she's finished with them.
Sounds like this was the straw that finally broke the camel's back, so to speak. She already had publicly spoken out against the university, in particular about the hire of President Caslin. But in recent years, actually, quite frankly, going back to when Governor at the time, Nikki Haley, removed her from the board, I believe that was when they had their first public squabble between her and the university. But it's only gotten worse. And it just seems like this was finally what just pushed her over the edge. And not sure what it would take for the university to bring her back, but that is just an awful shame. It hurts the entire university and community from top to bottom.
It does. It's just an embarrassment. And what really adds to the embarrassment is this on top of the Frank Martin fiasco. They've still left him out there hanging to dry like a piece of meat, salted and hanging out to dry. But you let Clemson once again undercut you. Not that Clemson was trying to do that. Clemson, hell, they didn't know. They were just doing the right thing from their standpoint. It's not their problem that South Carolina didn't see fit to follow through on their end. So, again, egg on their face and just makes them look bad. I hate to talk about it like that, but I mean, it is what it is. It's very, very sad that happened for South Carolina. So the Gamecocks pick up a transfer, A.J. Wilson from George Mason. It'll be basically at least half the roster will be brand new for South Carolina. But, I'm not picking on the Gamecocks here. That's commonplace now in college basketball. When you've got well over 1,000 kids in the transfer portal, John, there's a lot of teams going through roster remakes right now, and it's sad. It's very sad that, we have this kind of situation here. We talked about this years ago. We knew. I said it. Well, I'm not claiming to be a genius by any means. I think, I let other people refer to me that way. But I said years ago, when you first started with this kind of transfer stuff, you were going to see the Wild West when it came to roster turnovers. The days of having a kid, even a marginal kid who kind of grows up in your program that you can love and hug as yours for 4 years is practically gone because for whatever reason, kids are more interested. They're more interested in going someplace where they can get on the court and play. I understand that and play right away than they are at staying at a university and building the memories of going to college and enjoying the college experience and getting a college education at the school they chose with the major they want to major in. It's like, where's all this academic emphasis that the NCAA, beats us over the head with? Uh, because there's no academic emphasis being thought about by a lot of these players who are transferring so readily. All right, we'll be right back. Much more to talk about.
Is that crack in your windshield or your house bothering you?
Have you been meaning to have it replaced but just can't find the time?
Call Absolute Glass, voted Lexington's best glass shop for 12 years in a row.
We repair and replace glass on all makes and models.
We're the only local high-end auto glass specialist in the Midlands, and we'll come to you to make the process quick and easy.
With new technologies and vehicles, we can recalibrate your vehicle back to new.
Visit AbsoluteGlassInc.com to learn more about our auto, home, and business glass services. Just remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
What can I possibly do to make this stressful time a little better? Here's one thing I found. It's a small thing, a simple thing, a remarkable thing. Smile. You can share a smile from more than 6 feet apart. You can share it socially with the whole world. In fact, right now, I'm smiling at you. And I hope you're smiling back, because smiling is in you. From PassItOn.com.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Joe Biden will unveil a series of executive actions aimed at instituting some gun controls on Thursday, according to a person familiar with the plans, delivering his first major action on gun control since taking office. He's also expected to nominate David Chipman, a former federal agent and advisor at the gun control group Giffords, to be director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. If confirmed, Chipman will be the agency's first permanent director since 2015. Biden is expected to announce tighter regulations requiring buyers of homemade ghost guns to undergo background checks. A mixed day on Wall Street as the Dow was up by 16 points, the Nasdaq dropping 9, the S&P up by 6, and crude oil up 44 cents to $59.77 a barrel. This is SRN News.
Have you walked around your own home lately? I mean, it is your most valuable financial asset. Have you spotted any cracks in the home's foundation? Now, if you have, don't panic. You call TerraTech instead. Why am I so comfy recommending TerraTech? Well, they check off all the boxes that matter to me. First, they're local. They're family-owned in the Midlands for more than 38 years. More than 10,000 homeowners, just like you and just like me, have trusted TerraTech to restore their homes. TerraTech combines their collective experience of over 150 years of professional service in the foundation repair industry, along with utilizing state-of-the-art products and solutions. TerraTech fixes foundations. They also repair or build retaining walls. They install French drains, and they offer free inspections and repair quotes. They stand by their work, and they can be trusted with protecting your home. And hey, if you don't want to take my word for it, they're also A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Find them online, TerraTechInc.com, or call TerraTech 791-8888. Oh man, storm's coming. I need to be prepared. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. All right, here's the Dominion Energy app with Face ID, and I am ready to go. That's right, folks. If those South Carolina storms hit, the new Dominion Energy mobile app is a must-have. So easy to use and convenient to have around. It's not just for power outages. With this app, you have instant access to all of your energy usage, too. Pretty cool stuff. Take it from me. Be prepared this season and download it today.
Hello, Midlands. It's Jay here with the Melting Pot. Here's a few questions we get when people call us. Do we serve only chocolate? No, we serve 4 courses, but you can get just chocolate or 4 courses of chocolate. No, you don't have to sit at a big table with strangers around you, but you can sit at a big table with friends around you. You just need to bring the friends with you. We also specialize in having lots of private booths with real walls between them, so you won't feel like a fish in a plexiglass tank. Come and see us at the Melting Pot, 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard.
One thing you hear on The Point all day long, it's be intentional. You hear it from our local and national hosts, and I practice what I preach. So when it comes to my biggest financial investment, my home, well, I'm pretty intentional. I had Allstate Seamless Gutter come out, and they fixed me up. Think about this. You spend between, $800, $1,500 on gutters for your house. That's an intentional investment. It protects your home against so many things that can cost thousands and thousands of dollars later on. things like mold damage or foundation repairs. And while we're talking about being intentional, when Doug and his team came out, did the job on my home, well, we partnered up to help save you some money. If you call 833-5GUTTER, tell them you want that point discount, that's 40% off your gutters. Make an intentional decision about your home. Protect your biggest financial investment. They do great work. And you know, I won't endorse Allstate Seamless Gutter if I didn't have them come out and do the work on my own home. Peace of mind and new gutters at a great price. That's being intentional. Allstate Seamless Gutter. 833-5GUTTER. That's 833-5GUTTER.
Our good friend HR communicating backdoor-wise with me through DM. He says, he's a big Clemson guy. He says Darla will be sitting with him in the West End Zone this fall. Yeah, I wonder if she's giving up her season tickets to South Carolina. Welcome back, 888-898-2525. Hey, I hope you know the Sides, of course, are a great group of radio stations around the state of South Carolina. We're hoping that you'll listen to us there first and foremost and check us out, and then you'll stay with that station all day long because it's a great radio station. We only associate with the best radio outlets in South Carolina, and we hope you'll stay with them and support them and their sponsors and our sponsors as well. That's what makes the world go round. And free, I say free radio. Radio, that's the beautiful thing, baby. You don't have to pay $9.95 a month. You don't have to check your credit card or anything like that. We're coming at you free. We also give you now 3 video streams of Sports Talk on our Twitter at Sports Talk SC, on our Facebook at Sports Talk Media Network on Facebook, and YouTube, Sports Talk Media Network. Just remember all that. You can do the search. Hopefully you'll bookmark it and you can go right to it. So if you prefer YouTube, we're there. If you prefer Facebook, we're there. And of course, Twitter, we're there. So that's a nice auxiliary way of getting the show. And of course, the audio stream is available on our website. Just go to sportstalksc.com and click on the link where it says listen to the Sports Talk stream, and you can get us that way. In just a moment, we're going to hear from Dustin Johnson, reigning champ at Augusta, as we get ready for the first round in the morning. Weather's supposed to be pretty good, so we're looking forward to that. This evening, we have the announcement from Scott Early of the coaching staffs for the North-South Touchstone Energy All-Star Football Game. They were formally approved this afternoon, and so your head coach of the North will be Wayne Farmer from Calhoun County, and his assistant coaches will be Michael Allen of Nation Ford and let's see, Coach Bradley from Woodruff. I'm missing a first name there. Kyle Stewart of Powdersville, Will Mitchell of Louisville, David Pierce of Northwestern, and Bill Bacon of Lugoff Elgin. Your South team coaching staff, Art Craig, Hanahan, assisted by Russell Zaire, Berkeley, Rodney Summers, May River, Will Lampkin, Ridgeland, Hardyville, Jim Schumann, Allendale Fairfax, Bill Seawright of Chapin, and Stephen Parsley from Conway. So congratulations to all those coaches for their positions on the staff. Still don't have a first name for Coach Bradley. Anybody in the Woodruff area, and I apologize, should know it. I'm looking at the official release, and his first name is not there. It's just Bradley of Woodruff. So, Coach Bradley, congratulations. I do apologize for not having the first name right on the tip of my tongue, but somebody will share that with us. I also want to mention the All-Star game this year, the Touchstone Energy Bowl North-South game. How about this for a great new feature? They're going to have the first annual Joanne Langfit Jr. Showcase as part of the week of festivities on December the 10th, Friday, December the 10th. They're going to have basically a combine for up-and-coming football players. This will showcase by invitation only some of the top players in the state of South Carolina. And the athletes in the showcase will go through the 40-yard dash, the 3-cone drill, the time shuffle run, vertical jump, broad jump, and bench press. And this will take place at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium on that Friday night before the game on Saturday. And the cost is $100 per athlete. And that includes the combine event, player profile, and performance t shirt. So make sure that you know about this, your coach knows about it, and you get involved with it when that time rolls around. If you're one of the invited athletes to participate on Friday, December the 10th, as Scott Early, now that he is running things, is going to add a few touches here and there to the week of festivities for the Touchstone Energy Bowl North-South game in Myrtle Beach, and this is just a way to add something else to it. And I think it's great, a lot of fun, and looking forward to being there with Sports Talk that entire week, and there for that, and there for the game on Saturday. But now on to the Masters, because it tees off in the morning. We went over some of the top tee times last night on the show. One that I missed, I want to go back and touch on this, but one of the key tee times in terms of the pairings that I missed, 10:42, Xander Schauffele, John Rahm, and Rory McIlroy. They'll go off right after Lee Westwood, Tyler Stravesey, and Dustin Johnson, the reigning defending champion of the Masters, Irmo native, Coastal Carolina grad. And he spoke with the media yesterday, taking questions from the moderator and from the media there in attendance at Augusta. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, it was obviously it was a very special week, and yeah, every part of my game was working very well. You know, I really drove the ball well, hit a lot of greens, which is kind of it's a must around here if you want to play well. You hit a lot of greens, and then if you don't, you got to miss it in the right spots. But I felt like I just had full control of the golf game all week, and I was able to put 4 good scores together.
Would you assess your game currently? Are you ready for a repeat? Is your game in great shape?
It's in good shape. Maybe not quite as good as shape as it was in November, but I feel like it's coming together. I'm starting to hit a lot of the same shots, and getting a lot more comfortable over the golf ball. And yeah, I feel like it's in pretty good form.
Well, I'd like to ask you a question that's probably been asked of you often about how important is winning the Masters, et cetera. And I know it's obviously one of the most coveted titles in sport, but I'd like to ask it in a different reference, because you are from South Carolina. You grew up in Columbia, Lexington area. You played junior golf there. You played high school golf. You played college golf. And as far as I can see and look at the records, you're the only Masters champion that was born in South Carolina. So with that said, has it come to a realization to you that the inspiration and motivation that you're giving to tens of thousands of kids who are growing up in first tee or junior golf, not only in South Carolina, but throughout the country, because your story is a beautiful story of growth into prosperity?
Yeah, obviously I've had a very nice career, and I tried, the best I can to, I have my junior tournament in Myrtle Beach, and, my foundation, we help a lot of junior golfers. I help out with some South Carolina Junior Golf Association tournaments. And so, for me, it's very important to, kind of give back to the junior golf in South Carolina, as best I can. Obviously, we're very busy, so I don't get to, spend much time, but, I try to help out in any way I can. But yeah, growing up in the state of South Carolina, and, kind of, that's where I, kind of honed my skills in. So it's definitely special to me, and I try to do what I can.
DJ, first of all, what have you learned about what you need to do this week based on the time you've been here getting ready for the tournament?
You're going to need to do everything well this week. The course is in fantastic condition. It's, it's pretty firm for, yesterday and today. For Monday and Tuesday, it's, balls bouncing a good bit, and greens are rolling really nice. So definitely a lot of different conditions than it was in November. Obviously, the golf course played really soft then just because of the weather. Obviously this weekend they're calling for a little bit of rain. Don't know really how much it'll affect the golf course, but as of right now, the course is going to play pretty difficult. But it's still the same. I mean, you got to hit numbers no matter if the ball is spinning back or staying in place or bouncing forward. You still got to hit quality golf shots and land them in the spots that you want to. But with the course being firm and fast like it is, you definitely going to have to be a little bit more careful about where you hit the ball.
history not necessarily always your strong suit. Do you know the three other guys who have won back-to-back here?
I do.
Really?
I do.
I mean, I'm sorry to be surprised. Why do you think so few have done it?
Because it's a tough tournament to win. You know, you got, like I said, you're gonna have to put 4 good rounds together. You know, especially with the conditions, like normal conditions, it's you know, you got to do everything well, and with it firm and fast, you know, it's just a really hard golf course because, you know, obviously any hole at any time can jump out and get you. So, you know, it's just very tough to win. I mean, to win once and especially multiple times.
Justin, you and your brother seem to have good chemistry out on the golf course. Without giving away any family secrets, can you share with us the chemistry you guys have and whether it was more special to win with him on the bag?
Absolutely. You know, my brother's been on the bag since, you know, the end of 13, and you know, we've always been close. And he played a lot of golf as a junior, so you know, it wasn't like he was coming in, you know, not knowing anything about golf. But yeah, just, you know, as much time as you spend with your caddy and, you know, travel the world. We play a lot of golf at home, so it's great having him on the bag, and obviously, you know, having him caddying, you know, last year when I won the Masters was really, really special, and it's, you know, one of those things that you'll never forget.
DJ, your grandfather, Art, what a great guy, and condolences. Do you have a story or some thoughts on how he shaped you in Austin when you guys were growing up?
Yeah, I mean, he was always a big part of both of our lives, just with sports. You know, he was a huge sports fan. Didn't matter, you know, what sport it was. He thought he knew how to play it, and he was good at it. That's for sure. Even with golf, even though I don't even think he ever hit a golf ball, he'd still try to tell me how to play. But that's just how he was. And I mean, you know, as a kid and, you know, playing, you know, all the different sports, he was always there and always real supportive. And, you know, so obviously, you know, definitely going to miss him, but yeah, he's in a good place.
So I'm just wondering, as you're preparing for this Masters, do you compare it to November to say that shot worked, that shot didn't? Is there any comparison just because the conditions are so different?
Oh, I mean, it's still the same golf course. So, yeah, I mean, the shots that you hit, it doesn't really change. Just the spots where you land it kind of change depending on the firmness and, you know, where you're at or what club you're hitting. But I mean, the golf course hadn't changed.
What were some of the most enjoyable things that you got to do with the green jacket, or some of the best reactions from people who maybe you let wear it as well?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a special piece of clothing to have, and but probably the coolest thing was wearing it when I was here, like, you know, having dinner, or, you know, for me, that was probably the coolest. I didn't really wear it anywhere or do any. I haven't had it for that long, so didn't do a whole lot of things, especially with COVID and all. You know, wasn't doing, you know, not like we were really doing much. So, but I enjoyed it wearing it while I was here.
I've rated top 10s here. I was wondering, you know, switching to the fade about 5 years ago, do you feel like that made you better suited to play this golf course in any way? And did you draw any shots last year? Hit any draws?
I mean, on 10, but it's not really a draw; it's a hook. But no, I think just once I started hitting a fade, it's not really better suited for here. I just started driving it straighter, so I, you know, don't get in as much trouble. But I mean, that's about it. I mean, because obviously, if you draw the ball, the course sets up fantastic. But for me, yeah, just hitting the fade, I just, you know, started hitting it a little bit straighter.
Justin, returning here as a champion, how has your mindset changed when you enter the property or driving down Magnolia Lane?
I mean, the mindset coming into the week doesn't change at all, just because, you know, it's another tournament. You know, I won the Masters, it was 5 months ago. So, you know, coming in this week, it's a new year, it's a new tournament. So the mindset's still the same. I mean, I come in and I'm, you know, just trying to, well, I'm ready for the event, but just, you know, going out, getting ready for the tournament, you know, seeing how the course is playing, working on the shots that I need to work on. And so that's kind of the mindset, but so it's not going to change.
This year, fans are going to be back cheering you. Having fans cheer you, in what way does that help your game?
Yeah, I mean, last year was obviously was a strange year playing the Masters with no patrons. So it's definitely a whole different vibe out there this year, and it's exciting to have them back. And especially with the weather we've had the last couple of days, it's been really nice. And obviously, having the patrons out there, it definitely brings a lot more excitement, and it's going to be like that for the tournament this year.
Seems like since the weekend at LA, your game hasn't been as sharp as it was thereabouts. What went wrong, or what's caused it to be good and not great? And what do you have to do what is the one area you need to do to put it back to where you want?
Well, I think it's getting there. Sometimes, played in Hawaii with a lot of wind, LA with a lot of wind, Saudi with a lot of wind. Sometimes just get a little bit off. And I think that was kind of for me, just my setup and, posture was just a little bit off, which caused me to hit some funny shots, and which is kind of the difference of, playing really well or, playing just okay. I think that was the main thing, but I've worked a lot on it the last, couple of weeks, and feel like, played really good in Austin, tee to green, and, felt like, I actually, if we were playing stroke play, I felt like I would have played really well, just as match play. So, things happen. But I feel like the game's, is starting to get really sharp again, and I feel really comfortable. So looking forward to this week.
So, Dustin, since you won just a couple of months ago, do you feel like that there is less pressure to go out there and, try to get another jacket?
Yes and no. It's definitely, I won the Masters, so it's, there's no pressure on trying to win the golf tournament, but, still I want to go out and, I'm defending champ. So I want to go out and, put myself in a position where I've got a chance to defend my title come the, the back nine on Sunday.
Yeah, the driver hasn't been up to par for you this year compared to, honestly, probably one of the best driving careers in golf. Are you frustrated with that club right now? And why hasn't it been great this year?
No, I feel like it's gotten better. I think, like, even in Austin in the match play, I'm pretty sure my driving, I was leading in strokes gained driving. So through the few days that I played. So the driver feels a lot better. I actually went in, I'm put the new Sim 2 Max in. So I've got a new driver and or put our new driver in play. So I played it at Austin, and I'll be playing it again this week. So it's going a lot better, and I feel like I'm driving it well.
All right, Dustin Johnson is meeting with the media from yesterday. And so we see how things will unfold. You never know at the Masters. A lot of times, the guys who get off to the good start and you think they're going to be the guys there by the weekend, they fade, and the cream usually rises to the top. The guys that are making the putts and putting the ball in position on the greens. And, of course, the long hitters, they do have an advantage. And the approaches are much easier, of course, when you've driven it 350, 400, whatever the case may be, especially on the par fives. But still, Pat, do you think the most important thing at Augusta is, I don't know, is the most important thing the approach and where you put the ball on the green, or the actual putting itself? You got to be in the right position to make the putts, but then you got to get on the green and make the putts. I guess when you boil it down, it still comes down all to putting at Augusta. Whoever's got the best flat stick going is going to be the one that's got the best chance to win.
So to answer your question with a quick story, I remember I think I had just finished college and was sitting down with Ben Martin, who was a good buddy back in school, and now, of course, on the PGA Tour. And he had the opportunity to go out and had just played Augusta National. And I remember asking him what was the hardest part, and he focused solely on the short game in general, just around the greens and then putting. He didn't focus as much on his approach or as his drive, because he felt those were already the best part of his game. Well, when I asked him what the hardest part, he said he completely messed up. Every single aspect of Augusta National was just absolutely infuriating, and any part that he thought he had actually excelled in suddenly became his worst attribute out on the course. And it's just anytime you feel like you have one advantage on that golf course, it just completely bites you in the backside everywhere else. So if you focus on your short game, good luck from the tee box. If you focus on your approach, good luck on your short game. And I'm not sure how to exactly answer that, other than that entire course is a monster.
Did you know that Lee Elder is going to be one of the honorary starters in the morning He's now 86 years old. You know, they've only gone with two since Arnold Palmer passed away, Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player, and they will continue. But Lee Elder is going to join them in the morning at 86 to be the third honorary starter. So, of course, that has a lot of meaning, and should feel good. Should feel good for everybody that he is going to be there to be a part of that. That's always a great emotional scene because who knows over the next year as Jack Nicklaus climbs the age ladder. Gary Player, of course, Gary Player looks like he's in better shape than people half his age. But you don't take anything for granted with these great players. So Lee Elder will be joining them in the morning about 7:30 or so for that honorary tee off.
Long overdue, Corn. Long overdue.
Let's give you the recruiting report here on Sports Talk. It is brought to you by Seawells. And you know what? If you haven't been to Seawells for lunch, you're long overdue, as Pat would say. You're long overdue. Get there tomorrow. They're open for their buffet lunch, 11 to 2. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Grab a lunch and then get back in front of that television set and watch the Masters on a full stomach. And not just a full stomach, but a nourished body because you're going to have delicious food and a well-balanced an attempt at a well-balanced meal. It's on you to decide what you want, but you're going to have meats, you're going to have vegetables, you're going to have fish, you're going to have chicken, dessert, beverages, your choice. You put it together and you enjoy. And it's a great price as well. And of course, the best in the catering business as you get ready to have your future parties and gatherings of larger amounts of people. Let Seawells do the work for you. 803-771-7385 is their number. So A.J. Wilson announces he's transferring to South Carolina from George Mason. So Frank Martin adds him to the Gamecock roster, 6'7", out of George Mason, apparently a very good defensive player, not a big-time scorer, but a guy who can apparently D you up a little bit. In football, South Carolina last night, Shane Beamer, Marcus Satterfield, they offered Braden Davis, 6'5", 184, Middletown, Delaware, number 6 dual threat quarterback nationally in the 24/7 Sports Composite in the 22 class. And he has a big arm. He's athletic. And he got the offer from Beamer during a Zoom call with the coaches, said it was awesome. They went from the Zoom to a virtual visit, and then Beamer let him know that he was getting the offer. Very exciting, he said. You could feel the emotion coming from the screen. And he said that Beamer told him he likes how he carries himself. He's the type of person he felt like would be a good fit. And he felt like through their interactions on the Zoom call that he was comfortable enough to make him the offer. And the virtual visit, he got to see a lot from nutrition to academics, strength, campus life, football. Really learned a lot about South Carolina through that. And, of course, he just visited a couple of weeks ago. So he's moving forward. He's not narrowed his list. Duke, Maryland, Florida, Oregon, Penn State, Virginia Tech, Tennessee, Iowa, Arkansas, Florida State, Stanford, Michigan State, Alabama, LSU, Georgia. Those are other offers. South Carolina is definitely in the mix now with the offer, and he's going to continue to build relationships with the coaches. And when he feels comfortable with somebody, then he'll go ahead and make his commitment. He hopes to do it within the next month and a half, but he can't guarantee he'll get it done that soon. Meantime, defensive tackle Felix Hickson of Jackson, Georgia, took a personal visit to USC Monday and Tuesday, and he really enjoyed that. He was with his parents. They drove around campus. They drove by the football facilities, got a chance to look at everything, and was very impressed with the campus, very impressed with the town. The size of the facilities impressed him as well. And so it was a good visit for him. The Gamecocks are very much in the mix with him at this point. He's going to make a return visit for another personal visit in June. Does not plan to take an official with the Gamecocks until the football season. He has officials set for Georgia Tech and Virginia in June. He also has Florida, Florida State, Illinois, Georgia, Louisville, Arkansas, and Wisconsin on his short list. USC offered safety Peyton Williams of Rockwall, Texas. Michigan State and Maryland also have offered. USC also offered 2023 linebacker Tackett Curtis, 6'2", 195, of Manny, Louisiana. 4-star, number 3 outside linebacker nationally. Clemson made the final six with five-star safety Jacoby Matthews of Ponchatoula, Louisiana. He also has LSU, Florida, Arizona State, Southern Cal, and Texas. Number 2 rated safety nationally in the class. And 5'10", Famir Ali is transferring, this is basketball, from Radford to the College of Charleston. There you go with the recruiting report for tonight. Remember to check it out regularly on our website, sportstalksc.com, on Twitter. Use the hashtag STRecruiting. After the break, we'll hear from Gamecock receivers coach Justin Stepp here on Sports Talk.
The point. The point. WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. President Biden will unveil a series of executive actions aimed at addressing gun control on Thursday, delivering his first major action on gun control since taking office. Correspondent Bernie Bennett has more.
President Biden is expected to announce tighter regulations requiring buyers of so-called ghost guns to undergo background checks. The homemade firearms, often assembled from parts and milled with a metal cutting machine, often lack serial numbers used to trace them. It's legal to build a gun in a home or a workshop, and there is no federal requirement for a background check. Mr. Biden is also planning to name his nominee to head the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, a position that advocates say will be key to implementing the nation's gun laws and addressing gun violence. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Correspondent Rita Foley reports on news about AstraZeneca's coronavirus vaccine.
The European Union's health authority says it has found a possible link between the AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine and a rare clotting disorder. But it says the benefits of the shot still outweigh the risks, and it recommends that the vaccine continue to be given to adults. The European Medicines Agency describes the clots as very rare side effects. It says most of the cases reported have occurred in women under 60. The United Kingdom's drug regulator says the AstraZeneca vaccine has huge benefits, but people under 30 will be offered another product due to the rare blood clot risk. I'm Rita Foley.
President Biden is drawing a red line on his $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan. He says he's open to compromise on how to pay for the plan, but inaction is unacceptable. Republicans say the infrastructure plan is nothing more than a Trojan horse for left-wing policies and a nearly $2 trillion tax hike. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 16 points, but the NASDAQ dropped 9. More on these stories at townhall.com.
A heart attack? He was 47. What about Janice and the kids? Do they have life insurance?
No. Call SelectQuote now and get the insurance your family needs at a price you can afford.
In minutes, SelectQuote found John, 45, in excellent health, a $500,000 policy for only $29 a month. And his wife Ann, 43, in excellent health, a $500,000 policy for only $21 a month.
At SelectQuote, we comparison shop some of the most trusted insurance companies in America to find you the best rate in minutes. And it's free.
For your free quote, call 1-800-644-1331. That's 1-800-644-1331. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-644-1331.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
New report says the coronavirus is revisiting anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. The latest from the Media Line's Felice Friedson.
Jewish leaders fear a surge in anti-Semitism as the corona pandemic subsides. In a report by Tel Aviv University's Cantor Center, researchers explained that social distancing measures suppressed the number of incidents as would-be victims were kept away from their attackers. But all the while, social media is brimming with conspiracy theories that echo ancient falsehoods. Jews are accused of being responsible for causing the pandemic, spreading economic devastation, including heinous motives reminiscent of ancient libels. Officials anticipate an increase in anti-Semitic acts, a phenomenon already seen in the United States and Germany. Tel Aviv University issues its anti-Semitism report annually on the eve of Holocaust Remembrance Day. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union. on 107 The Point.
And here's tonight's forecast. We'll stay clear overnight with a low temp dipping to 57. Tomorrow, things start to change. We'll have more clouds than sunshine. Our high temp reaches 83. Friday is our first chance at rain, although only a 30% chance of scattered showers. The high will hit 80. Saturday looks good for showers across the Midlands. I'm Brian Leonard with your On Point local weather. WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
Don't you forget, pressing the button can also be enjoyable for you.
Welcome back to Sports Talk across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and streaming live at sportstalksc.com and on Twitter at SportsTalkSC. Use the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call Phil and Matt at 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now let's get back to Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Matt Smith.
All right, busy hour ahead here on Sports Talk. SC Wild at the bottom of the hour, a visit from Justin, make sure I get my name right here, the volleyball coach at Erskine's going to be with us here at about 7:20. That is Justin Brubaker. And we'll be talking with him about his team as they head down the stretch of the season. Justin Stepp, USC receivers coach. In just a moment, one more recruiting note I just ran across because it just happened not too long ago. The USC basketball team has offered Cam Kraft. He's out of Buffalo, New York. He is a shooting guard, and he is about 6'6", 185. Let's make that Illinois. Buffalo Grove, Illinois, not Buffalo, New York. Buffalo Grove, Illinois, 6'6", 185. DePaul, Drake, Maryland, Nebraska, UIC. Those are some of his offers. I imagine Illinois might get involved at some point. So, yeah, looks like a good ball player, and South Carolina has made him an offer. So we'll keep a close watch on him. Let me update a few other quick notes we haven't had a chance to touch on here, but very quickly, a few of the top stories of the day. Nike has suspended its endorsement deal with Deshaun Watson as more things have come out about his situation. And also, Beats by Dre has ended its relationship with Deshaun Watson. So things are starting to really pile up. Arizona's fired Deshaun Miller. They've parted ways, had 1 year left on his contract. Now let's see what LSU eventually does with their coach. Erskine has a new opponent in football for this weekend. It's not Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be Fort Valley State at Greenwood High School. At game time has changed to 4 o'clock. Coastal Carolina's series at UT Arlington this weekend has been moved back a day, and they'll play on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. This is a Sun Belt Conference deal, and the series opener will take place Saturday at 3 o'clock. Also, as a result of all this, their road game in Wilmington will move from Tuesday to Wednesday, and first pitch is still scheduled there for 6 o'clock. Chris Likes, the outstanding guard from Miami, is transferring to Arkansas. So the ACC's loss will be the SEC's gain as a result of that. Columbia native, Irmo native, Devontae Shuler and Romello White, both will not return to Ole Miss next season, and they'll use their additional year of eligibility. They'll go to professional ranks, according to Kermit Davis, to John Rothstein. And Joey Logano has the pole, and Denny Hamlin will be inside of him on the front row for Saturday night's Cup race at Martinsville. And May 5th, NASCAR is going to unveil the new car they were testing at Darlington yesterday, the next-gen car. So May 5th will be the day that they pull the curtain back on that and let everybody know what they've got. Tiger Woods was going over 80 miles an hour, nearly twice the speed limit, before he crashed on that curvy mountainous road in California. And they're now releasing details at his permission. He also put out a tweet today thanking everybody for their support, thanking the police officers and first responders and all that. But basically, they're saying just simply going too fast for the situation of a curvy road, downhill, lost control, and he crashed. Other than that, there's really nothing else being identified as a cause for the accident. No drugs, no mechanical failure, um, didn't doze off or anything like that. So just basically too fast for the road he was traveling. All right, Justin Stepp, highly acclaimed receiver coach, brought into South Carolina, Peoria native, coming from Arkansas, taking over a group that was, well, it has been ripped apart by fans and the media, except for Shi Smith last year, for really underachieving and underperforming. So these guys are seeking redemption. Many feel like they've got one of the best receivers coaches in the country to work with them about that. And today, after practice, Step met with the media to talk about just that. And here he is taking questions from the media and discussing what he's working with at USC.
We've had some really good practices. I just finished the fifth one today. Really the first guy that comes to my mind that's making a ton of plays and just doing a great job of leading our group is DK. I mean, just can't say enough great things about him and how he's been. Jalen Brooks, JB, has done an unbelievable job. I mean, that kid, JB and DK, they're up here every day. I mean, they'll probably beat me. We start watching film here at 1 o'clock. They'll probably beat me in there to start watching it. So they've done a really good job. I mean, Ortre showed up. Trey Atkins has done a good job. Rico. We got some guys back that weren't practicing there at the very beginning, so those guys have done a good job of getting back into the groove. And man, I'm really excited about our group. I know there's a lot of work to be done. They're still trying to figure out how I coach. I'm still trying to figure out how they learn. It's a daily. We learn things about each other every day. So can't say enough about how hard they work, though, man. They're a hungry group. They want to be coached hard. And then they want to improve and make plays. So that's all you can ask as a coach.
I know you guys weren't obviously here last year, but from a fan perspective, from a media perspective, the receiver position was something that the production wasn't as high. When you walk into a situation this year, obviously losing a tremendous receiver like Shi Smith, what do you guys do to be able to create that foundation so that the receiver position can take that next step based on the players that you do have currently on the roster?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people say it, but it's really it's next man up. I mean, there's enough guys here, in this position room that can step up and obviously Shi Smith, he's an unbelievable player. I watched his pro day. I mean, the kid, he was an incredible player. I got to watch him on film several times just from watching defenses and watching South Carolina play on offense. But it's really next man up. I mean, these guys are coming in again. I can't say enough about how hard these guys are working. I mean, they come in every day and get extra work. They're going to have to buy us a new jugs machine. We're using the jugs machine so much. So, and that's something they want to get. I mean, today we have an accountability after practice, and we had a certain amount of things we had to do after practice, and they said, "Hey, coach, let's do 20 more." I mean, and that came from them. So they want to be good. I tell my guys every day. I said, "You'd be foolish to think that none of us have anything to prove in here." I'm coaching with something to prove, and I want my guys to play with something to prove, and that's an attitude we bring every day.
Justin Ortre is obviously a guy that opted out last year. How much does he benefit from, for lack of a better word, a clean slate with the new coaching staff? And what have you seen from him so far through 5 practices?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not just Ortre. I think it's everybody in the building, even the guys, the guys that opted out and the guys that didn't. Man, everybody's got a clean slate. Coaches as well. What I think that Ortre's found is he's found his love for the game again, and he's having a great time. He's practicing hard. He's getting back in shape and staying healthy. And again, coming up here, he was one of the ones in there the other day watching film. We were in there watching film as a staff, and he came in there with a couple other guys and sat there and watched film with us as a staff. That's something that's the culture we're trying to build in here, man. We want our kids around, want our kids in the building. I mean, they come in there and sit there and watch film with us as a staff, and that's something that we're trying to build. And that's not anything that we ask them to do. That's something that they do on their own. So again, I'm proud of him. He's doing a great job and taking rehab serious and getting in there every day and doing the prehab, doing the things to keep himself healthy day in, day out.
Hey, Coach, obviously you weren't on the field with DK last year, but from what you've seen on film, practice, game day, whatever, where have you seen him improve in your short time getting to work with him?
Man, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I didn't watch a single game from just getting here and watching. Say, hey, okay, I'm gonna watch this guy. I watched a couple of games. I think we watched the LSU game when I was at Arkansas, just in game planning, but never really studied anybody. But one of the things about him is the kid has the most unbelievable attitude. He's a positive kid. Loves to be coached. Doesn't mind when you coach him hard. He responds. Some guys you coach them hard and they go away for a couple plays and maybe a couple periods and they never come back. Like DK, you get him and you coach him and he responds the very next play. I love his coachability. I love his attitude. He's one of those guys, man. When he walks in the room, it makes you feel a little bit better about the day. So I have no idea if he was like that in the past or not, but he's been like that for me. So I tell him every day how much I appreciate him and to lead our group. And man, he's just a positive guy. I'm a positive dude, man. You're either an energy giver or an energy taker, and I try to give as much energy as I can. And I love guys that do the same thing, and he does that for me and our group.
Justin, how has Amarian Brown transitioned into the program, and what have you seen from him on and off the field to make you believe that he can be a real help for you guys this year?
Yeah, he's one. Obviously, he had some production at Georgia Tech. Did a really good job. He's a kid that's played at a high level, so obviously he brings that confidence as far as, hey, I know I can play in this league. I know I can do what I got to do to get open, and help the football team. He's got another guy with a great attitude. Really proud of the way he's come in and not that he deserves anything. He's working he wants to earn everything he's going to get. So really proud of the way he practices. He practices extremely hard. But again, I think it helps that he's been in a Power 5 program and seen the way a Power 5 practice is ran. He attacks every day. He's very sharp, very intelligent kid. He's very cerebral. He does a good job of picking up on things very easily. Really proud of him.
Is he working exclusively in the slot, or is he being moved around?
Well, with a lot of things that we do, we can put him in several different positions, just as far as alignment. But he is primarily a slot guy, but can move outside depending on what formation we're in.
Justin, not asking you to reveal state secrets, but through 5 practices, just what are your impressions of Marcus Satterfield's offense, and how do you feel like the guys are grasping it right now?
Man, I love it. It is, as a receiver, it is just the freedom that you have within the offense with a lot of option routes, and there's so many compliments off of every play. We have a lot of offense in. There is a lot. It is amazing how well our guys have picked up on it. The first thing I can tell you is that I don't think I've ever been around as smart of football coach as Marcus Satterfield. He's like a mad scientist. He's got a good way about him with the kids. He brings the energy every day. We walk in this morning and you could hear his music playing out of his office before you ever got up the stairs. So he's a high energy guy, very, very sharp. He sees things that, and as we watch film together, he sees things that you're like, golly, I'd have never caught that. So I'm excited to work with him. I love our offensive staff. I love our offense. If you're a receiver, it's a lot of the same things that LSU was doing with Joe Brady there, with the bunch sets, the close sets, the choice routes, and stuff like that. It's a fun offense to play in, man. It's an NFL ready offense. The transition from playing in this offense to playing at the next level is playing in it is gonna help you a lot. It's a really cool system to be in.
And now that you've kind of gotten settled, how do you feel like recruiting's gone, and how do you feel like that process is gone now that you're building this 2022, 2023?
To be honest with you, I still feel like I'm playing catch up. I hate the feeling of being behind. I felt where I was before recruiting a different geographical area. I was so far ahead, just not even as far as identifying kids, but just building the relationships. I'm a relationship guy. It's hard to build, man. When the pandemic hit, I'd already had a lot of those guys I was recruiting at my previous school on campus. And so you got to be in front of them. You got to put your arm around them, and you get that feel from being in a face-to-face position with a kid. It's hard, but just being relentless every day, man. Even if I don't get them, they're going to see they're going to see a missed call. They're going to see a text message. So they may not get back, but they're going to see Justin Stepp pop up. So.
All right, Justin Stepp, USC receivers coach, and Gamecocks are very happy to have him on board. Clemson golf team, they won that collegiate invitational at the Country Club of Birmingham. Tigers shot 283 today, 1 under. They win by 6 over Tennessee, by 9 over North Florida. Another victory there for the Tigers. And individually, it's Bryce Lewis of Tennessee winning 6 under par. Clemson's Jacob Bridgman finished 1 shot back, and the Tigers' Zach Gordon finished 4 shots back. We're going to talk some volleyball, catch up on what's happening at Erskine. Our partners from Erskine College. Coming up next here on Sports Talk is the Flying Fleet Report. Men's volleyball coach Justin Brubaker is going to join us. He's all hot and sweaty because he's walking out of practice, stepping off the floor for a moment to join us. We'll talk with him after the break.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut of Sports Talk here with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources. What words of wisdom do you have for those hitting the water this summer?
Phil, collisions can be prevented easily if every vessel operator fulfills 3 major responsibilities. 1, practice good seamanship. It's the responsibility of every boat or PWC operator to take all necessary action to avoid a collision. 2, keep a proper lookout. Failing to keep a sharp lookout is the most common cause of boating collisions. And finally, maintain a safe speed. Remember, boat safe, boat smart.
Welcome to Tiny Stories. Today we're with Sonia, who recently won $500 on a scratch-off. I am such a loser. I'm so confused.
Ever been to a family reunion?
Not if I can help it.
My dad's family rents a beach house every year. I've always said I can't afford to go.
I am so sorry.
I'm assigned a sleeping bag on the porch with cousins I've never met.
Been there. Even got the T-shirt.
You may be cousin Tina.
No. You know what? That's it for the South Carolina Education Lottery. Tell your story at tellyourtinystory.com.
The Southeastern Institute of Manufacturing and Technology at Florence Darlington Technical College specializes in sophisticated manufacturing services and workforce development training. The SIMT offers rapid prototyping, additive manufacturing, advanced machining, and business incubation services to clients from across the state and nation, plus social media listening services and rentals of conferencing and training spaces. The SIMT also houses an 800-seat auditorium, a conference center that can seat more than 1,200 for dinner or a luncheon, and numerous classroom spaces with state-of-the-art presentation technologies. Visit our website at simt.com or call 866-304-7468 for more information. The SIMT, technology to grow your business.
Enjoy life to the fullest with tasty peanuts that pack a lot of flavor. When it comes to eating peanuts, the research is clear. Peanuts improve your health. Peanuts, a snack that gives back. Crack some open today for a nutritious, sustainable, and earth-friendly treat. Be sure to stop by your local grocery store produce section to pick up a bag of roasted in-shell peanuts. Brought to you by the South Carolina Peanut Board. Visit aboutpeanuts.com for delicious peanut-based recipes.
The future of golf is waiting for you at the Players Club. Rain, shine, or after dark, you can enjoy the game of golf anytime at Columbia's Indoor Country Club. The Players Club delivers the most realistic golf experience and offers more than 90 championship courses. Play or practice with the same state-of-the-art full-swing simulators used by Tiger Woods and Jordan Spieth. Visit maincoursesc.com to book a bay and become a player today at the Players Club, part of the Main Course, 1626 Main Street in Columbia.
All right, all spring long, we've been keeping up with things over at Erskine College. It's been a very busy time there with football now on the scene and all the other sports going on. Time for our Flying Fleet Report. And tonight, we welcome in men's volleyball coach Justin Brubaker to Sports Talk. Coach, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for taking a break from practice. I know I hate to do that, and I hope you're keeping one eye on your guys in there while they're working and you're with us. But how about your season to date? You're 9-14. You're 4-9 in the league. You got the tournament coming up pretty soon. How do you feel you guys have played overall?
Yeah, so the guys have definitely been battling this year. So a lot of really close games. We play best out of 5 in our matches, and we took a lot of the games, even the ones we didn't win, to 5. And so the guys have really been battling. They're a young group, and they're learning throughout the year. But yeah, I am happy with them. That we got a lot of really good guys on the team this year for sure.
Well, I mean, you lost a couple of seniors from last year's season, which was shortened. Total of 9 players left after last season. You had a really good year last year, right? You went pretty deep in the national tournament.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a good year. We didn't see as many wins as we would have liked, but I mean, it was tough to get the year cut short because of COVID, and so yeah, I was really sad for the seniors that they weren't able to finish out the year.
What do you see as the strength of your team to this point in the season?
Right now, it's just like we have a lot of guys with power. And that's super important for men's volleyball guys. Like you got to try to overpower the other team with how you hit and different things like that. And we have some guys that like they can jump super high and they can hit super hard. And so it's just sort of like getting them used to hitting in different situations and sort of having the knowledge of the game because they're young, but they have a lot of the pieces and it's sort of just like controlling that.
On a typical men's volleyball team, because of how high they have to jump, of course, around the net and all that kind of stuff. I mean, how many of those guys, like on your team, would be on a basketball court, let's say, and could stand flat-footed or maybe take a couple of steps and go up and dunk?
Yeah, well, that's always something that they want to do. Sometimes in practice, like before when they're warming up, I'll come in and they're trying to dunk. It's always fun. Now, some of them can, and you know, we have some guys who are strictly like back row players, and they would never dunk. But some of the like big guys, like the middles, some of the outsides, and the right sides, then they do like to throw it down a little bit. Yeah.
Who's your best jumper?
My best jumpers actually are outside. Edge Austin. He's got a really great vertical, and he's from Illinois, and he's come all the way to be with us, and he's a redshirt freshman. Yeah, he can jump out of the gym, and he's got the power too.
Do you find yourself having to recruit nationally to find qualified players, qualified in terms of talent and also academically?
Yeah, for sure. We have guys on our roster from like all over the country, and so like it's awesome that we have guys from like California and we have guys from Hawaii and Poland on the team, and it's cool that they're all meeting here in Due West, South Carolina. Yeah, they have great experience. They have a wealth of knowledge. It's just they're young, but once we get this thing on the road, that we're gonna have a really great team because we have some of the best players from all over.
Yeah. When you say, yeah, we're in Due West, South Carolina, do they respond like, do what?
Yeah, they say due west of what?
Yeah.
But yeah, they like coming here and playing for us, and it's just yeah, a whole bunch of guys from all over the place.
All right, so you played Emmanuel last night, lost to them, and now you're going to travel to face them, and then you're getting ready for your conference tournament coming up. So, I mean, you'd like to get a win. When do you play Emmanuel next, and then take us into what's ahead with the conference tournament?
Yeah, so this tournament starts actually this Thursday, which is tomorrow. And Emmanuel is the beginning of the road. We are the 7th seed in conference, and Emmanuel is the 6th seed. And so we have to, get past them to get to the next round. It's a single elimination right now in the conference, and so yeah, the pressure's sort of on us. And but the guys, they've handled pressure all year long, so I'm excited to see how they come out and play in this playoff game.
Well, I know you'd like to, spring an upset and advance into the tournament. Who are some of the better teams in the league this year? Who are some of the favorites going into the tournament?
So Mount Olive is first in the conference right now, and then Belmont Abbey. They're two of the top teams in the conference right now. But this year, the conference has been pretty even. Like there's been a lot of teams that have lost to other teams that they don't usually lose to, and so it's been a pretty competitive year in the conference for men's volleyball.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and let's see how long you can stay in that tournament and move forward. I know that's what the hope is, but if nothing else, you get some good experience, and these young guys get some more work, and you build toward next year.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We hope so.
Thank you. We'll let you get back to practice, blow that whistle, and get them jumping, and we'll talk to you again.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day.
You too. Justin Brubaker, men's volleyball coach at Erskine, and good luck to the Fleet as they hit the conference tournament beginning tomorrow. Appreciate that. We appreciate all the folks at Erskine for joining us here throughout the spring. It's a great time to talk about some of our other schools in our state and partner up with them and let them brag a little bit about their teams and their coaches and their athletes. That's right. Hey, believe it or not, there are more teams in the state besides Clemson and South Carolina. I hope you're aware of that. After the break, we're going to welcome in SC Wild, the Major Billy Downer. He's got some fish stories on his mind. Give us a call with any of your fish stories and comments. We'll be back.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
And here's tonight's forecast. We'll stay clear overnight with a low temp dipping to 57. Tomorrow, things start to change. We'll have more clouds and sunshine. Our high temp reaches 83. Friday is our first chance at rain, although only a 30% chance of scattered showers. The high will hit 80. Saturday looks good for showers across the Midlands. I'm Brian Leonard with your On Point local weather.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Biden administration and his allies in the states are combating vaccine hesitancy among older Americans, one person at a time. The vaccination rate for this top priority group is reaching a plateau, even as virus supplies have dramatically expanded. Federal officials say about 76% of Americans aged 65 and older have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccines, but the rate of new vaccinations among the group has slowed in recent weeks. It's a growing source of concern, not only because of the potential for preventable deaths and serious illness among seniors, but also for what it could portend for the broader population. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 16 points, the Nasdaq dropped 9, the S&P 500 up 6, oil up to $59.77 a barrel. More details at srnnews.com.
Spring is more than pollen season. It also means it's termite season. Palmetto Exterminators offers a free inspection at your home to determine any possible issues. Palmetto Exterminators offers the best termite agreement anywhere, but they do so much more. They offer complete pest control, mosquito control, wildlife trapping and removal, and nobody, I mean nobody, can offer you more peace of mind at your home or business. Now, how do I know that? Well, I never tell you to use someone like Palmetto Exterminators unless I practice what I preach. Now, I've been a customer for 19 years, and they are wonderful. My guy, Ron Byers, and his team over at Palmetto Exterminators, they've looked after my family forever. We have no pest control issues whatsoever. But if we did, all it takes is one phone call, and Palmetto Exterminators will fix it. It's pretty simple. Call Palmetto Exterminators and cross pest control right off your list of concerns. Online, it's palmettoexterminators.net, or give my guy Ron a call, 254-5833.
Hi, this is Marcia Clayman.
And I'm Karen Pickard. We're your hosts for The Positive Point on Aging.
We'll talk about aging gracefully and senior care every Tuesday morning from 8:30 to 9 o'clock a.m.
Join us right here on The Point for The Positive Point on Aging.
Brought to you by Oakley Village of Lexington.
Have you fallen behind on your taxes and might be facing IRS penalties? Have wage garnishments, levies, or liens? Have unfiled tax returns? You want someone local and qualified. Don't fall for those national spots. Meet with me, Teresa, at Capital City Professional Services, and let me help you through your tax maze. I can help with all your tax resolution issues. There are options to get you back on track. Call Capital City Professional Services, 400-8683. That's 400-8683.
Hey Tiger fans, this is head coach Davo Sweeney, and I'm excited to let you know it is time to reserve your 2021 Clemson football season tickets and come back home to Clemson. For details and more information, please visit clemsontigers.com/football tickets. The season ticket request deadline is April 30th, So be sure and act soon so you can see our Tigers in the Valley this fall. Come back home to Clemson and go Tigers.
Is that crack in your windshield or your house bothering you?
Have you been meaning to have it replaced but just can't find the time?
Call Absolute Glass, voted Lexington's best glass shop for 12 years in a row.
We repair and replace glass on all makes and models.
We're the only local high-end auto glass specialist in the Midlands, and we'll come to you to make the process quick and easy.
With new technologies and vehicles, we can recalibrate your vehicle back to new.
Visit AbsoluteGlassInc.com to learn more about our auto, home, and business glass services. Just remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Are you ready to grow your business? Tune in at 9 a.m. on Monday mornings to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. As founders of Splash Omni Media, we've helped thousands of business executives over the last decade. Get tips to win big. The Brainstorm, 9 a.m. on Monday mornings.
Now on Sports Talk, it's SC Wild with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources. Major Downer is here to take your questions about the great outdoors in South Carolina. Give him a call at 888-898-2525. It's SC Wild from DNR on the Sports Talk Radio Network.
Always one of my favorite times of every 2 weeks when we have SC Wild here on Sports Talk, starring Major Billy Downer. That's right. I play just a bit role here. It's all about Major Downer. It's all about his great thoughts on the great outdoors in South Carolina. And he's got some great stuff to talk about tonight. First of all, Major, good to have you with us. Welcome into another month of SC Wild here on Sports Talk.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the great introduction. Very kind, sir.
Well, I hope I didn't overspeak there.
You are way more than a sideshow in this for sure.
I don't know. A lot of people think I'm just a sideshow. Anyway, we're going to talk about flounder and flounder fishing here in South Carolina, are we not?
We are in a little bit. We're going to start off with turkey season, though. So let's talk about, because across the state now, everywhere turkey season's open. That's open on private land in Game Zone 1 and 2, Game Zone 3 and 4, and WMA land statewide. So turkey season is upon us everywhere. A lot of birds are out there. Some people are having some trouble finding birds right now, getting a little scarce in some places, but they will come out eventually. But yes, season goes in. It came in April the 1st in Game Zone 1 and 2 and on WMA land. So that will go through May 10th. For the rest of us here in Game Zone 3 and 4, we started March 22nd. We'll go through the end of the month, April 30th. So turkey season, again, is always a kind of a – you ask a turkey hunter, do they like cold weather or hot weather? They'll tell you two different things. I like a cold morning because I can hear the gobblers, but it's been hot the last 2 weeks for sure. 84 degrees is feeling like 100 degrees since we've been in the 30s and 40s. But anyway, it's been pretty cold. Pretty warm the last couple of days, particularly the last 2 weeks. But so that changes things too. It's hot. Nobody wants to go in the afternoon turkey hunting, but morning's kind of where they stick the time to turkey hunt. But some folks having success. Heard some folks doubling up with a father-son hunt, both taking the bird. But some folks having trouble finding birds. Or the age-old story: you go out and hear a rooster, you hear a gobbler gobble. And then he hushes up, and they went the other way. So, again, that's turkey hunting. But that's the turkey season right now in full swing. We'll be interested to kind of see how it turns out the rest of this month.
Let me ask you about the season overall and the wild turkey population in South Carolina that the hunters are looking for. Is it still bountiful?
Yeah, our birds are doing pretty well. I mean, again, there was a time, 20 years ago, we didn't have a season statewide. It wasn't everywhere. And now we have, you can take a turkey in every county of the state now. The season's open everywhere. So our birds are doing well. There is some concern about what our turkey population is going to do over the next few years, or has been doing. Of course, like anything, drought, heavy rain, all of that affects nesting birds. And young bird, your young, what they call your recruitment of your young birds, be able to survive heavy rains. and I have seen even seen buzzards take a total nest when when the young turkeys are just hatching. Um, Sometimes the buzzards will get in there and they'll take them as well, and I've seen that happen. And they'll end up busting the rest of the eggs up and eat them. So, anything that nests on the ground is kind of open for business for anybody that likes eggs. Possums, skunks, raccoons, like we said, things you don't think about, like buzzards eating those young turkeys on the ground. They're coming out when they're wet and very susceptible, or just they're just getting out of the egg and they're getting their dried off. They're very susceptible at that point to predation. So anyway, that affects your recruitment. Adult birds, what's after them. Anything on the ground. Again, coyotes can be after them. Again, haven't seen studies that showed that they have a real impact, but could they have some? Absolutely. So again, our population is pretty stable overall, but can it get better? Absolutely, it could get better. So there's a study right now that they're talking about doing to do some long-term research on our turkey population, kind of get some real facts on where our turkey season our turkey population is going. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. This year we started this SC Game Check. We talked about that whole show. For folks that didn't get that or didn't hear that show, it's a smartphone app that allows you to do your reporting of your turkey take this year. You're required to use the SC Game Check now, as well as your tag. So in addition to tagging the bird now, you can report your bird same day of the harvest. So by midnight of the day of the harvest, using SC Game Check, there were a few problems up front with those who had Android phones. I think they've got that corrected now. The Apple phones were working pretty well. But again, anytime you put anything new out there, folks get, they just get befuddled. They get the feathers rustled because we're not used to it. But SC Game Check is new. That's kind of a new way of things. Our legislature really pushed for this ability to be able to electronically report harvests. Turkey was the first. This is our first year of it. But the really neat thing is when the system's up and working fully, you'll be able to go, anybody can go and look and see where birds are being taken across the state, what the numbers are by county. There were a couple of glitches here to begin with, but it's a really good tracking tool. It won't tell you exactly where a bird was, but it's not going to tell somebody where you killed your bird at. But it's going to let people know how many birds were taken, for instance, in Sumter County, Clarendon County, Berkeley County, Greenwood County, whatever, for the year, which is pretty interesting there. And it gives real-time data for our biologists to look at to see when the harvest happens. If it's first of the season, middle of the season, late season, because there's so much discussion over, when are birds easier to hunt? Is it the first of the season or is it the end of the season? Because it's been argued when the hens hit the nest, then the gobblers are more out really looking and really gobbling hard, because that's what the gobbling studies are showing. They're really gobbling more at the end of the season because they're looking for hens and the hens aren't coming to them. Because remember, the gobbler gobbles and the hen's supposed to come to him. And he gets frustrated. He starts moving toward her, which is how we're able to take them when we call them to us. But it's supposed to work where the gobbler gobbles and the hen comes to him. So when the hens are on the nest for the end of the season, those gobblers are gobbling the head off and nobody's coming. So they're just getting frustrated. So the studies are showing that is when gobblers should be more susceptible to taking. But there's plenty of turkey hunters that'll argue with you that the first of the season when they do their best work. So,
what you're telling me there, even in the turkey world, it's the woman taking the man down eventually.
Absolutely, it is. It is. He is dependent upon her for sure, and he is definitely, yes, absolutely. But that's turkey season right now. It's kind of where we are with our turkey season. Again, we'll look to see in the next couple of weeks how the season ends up. It goes through May 10th for Game Zone 1 and 2, but will end on April 30th here in Game Zone 3 and 4.
Okay. So, let me throw the number out there if anybody has a comment about turkey season or anything else you want to share your comments or questions or thoughts with the major. The number 888-898-2525, 888-898-2525. We're also monitoring our Twitter timeline. You can shoot us a question at Sports Talk SC on Twitter, at Sports Talk SC on Twitter. Now, shall we travel to the flounder side of things?
Sure, we'll talk flounder. So, flounder right now are a hot topic across the state. There's a lot of concern about our flounder population, and there is a current bill out there. I think there's actually two versions of the bill, but there's a bill. Both bills address the daily take and possession limits for flounder, which currently are 10 fish per person, 20 per boat. So 3 of us on a boat, you can only take 20 fish, but one person can take 10 fish by themselves. Our flounder population has been in a drastic decline over the last 30 years. It's kind of leveled off, but it's dangerously low. Talking to our biologists and our population studies, this bill currently, and this is what scares people, is it would take the limit to 5 per person and 10 per boat. So the limit would change to 5 per person, 10 per boat. Again, this is a bill. This hasn't passed yet, and it may not pass. But right now, just talking about the things that we're looking at, that the legislature is looking at to try to help with this problem. So there's also a thought about putting a slot limit in there. Currently, the minimum size for flounder, you got a minimum size for flounder, and that's your minimum size right now is 14 inches. So 15 inches, 15 inches. And when we talk about flounder in South Carolina, we're talking about the southern flounder. That's typically what everybody gets here. But the minimum inch right now, the minimum length is 15 inches. So that's at least 15 inches long. The new slot recommendation would be 16 to 20 inches. So with an allowance for 1 trophy fish over 20. So out of your 5 fish, you can have 1 fish over 20. But the other 4 would have to be between 16 and 20 inches. So those are good fish. A 19-inch flounder is a good flounder. That's basically what most people catch. It's around 17, 18, 19 inches. But, I've caught 1 fish that was 25 inches in my life, and it was a tremendous fish. I caught it in North Carolina on a wreck. Just weird that I caught it that way, but it was a 5.5-pound flounder. Ooh, beautiful fish. I will always remember that. But, when you talk to people, that's what you hear is that one story. So everybody typically doesn't catch 25-inch flounder. They're going to catch a 20-inch or 21-inch, and a lot of 19s. But that 25-inch flounder is something you kind of have a story about. That's the one you got, big one. But the thing about the big fish is this. Our big fish are the ones who are the most successful egg layers. Let me say this, something I learned that I did not know. Any flounder that's in our current size, when they're 15 or bigger, they're all females. Every one of them. Male flounder do not get over 12 to 13 inches in length. So the male flounder are little short guys. They don't get very long. So the female flounder are the ones that get big. So these big fish that we'd be trying to protect, over 20 inches, those are your real successful egg layers. They have good egg production and they lay good eggs. So that's best for the flounder as a species and as a whole long term. So that's the things to be looking at when we start being concerned about flounder. We got to look at what do we do to protect the fish that are helping us create new fish. So that's kind of the thought pattern here. But right now, whenever you start changing the limit on something, you find out what people's interest is. And flounder is something people love to go fish for in this state. I've talked about gigging. I love to gig. A lot of folks love to gig flounder. So there's a lot of interest in this. A lot of concern about flounder, though. And above all, we need to really take a look at our flounder fishery and see what we need to do to protect it so that my children and your grandchildren will continue to be able to catch flounder in the future. So that's the big game. I think everybody can agree on that.
But I can see, the consumption of flounder around the country has just got to be gigantic because, everybody, when they go to a restaurant, a fish restaurant, they're looking for flounder for the most part. You got your sea bass people and your fancy fish people, but wouldn't you say that most people want a good piece of flounder on that plate when they go into a fish restaurant?
Sure, but they're not all caught here in South Carolina. So that's one of the things too. Our fishery in this state is 90%, 90. I've heard it said 98% recreational on flounder. We don't have a huge commercial fishery for flounder here.
Well, are other states in better shape with their flounder than we are?
No. So the southern flounder go North Carolina to Florida. Those fish intermingle out there in offshore. So our fish travel offshore, and then they come back inshore. So we have a general southerly, as I understand, a southerly kind of move. Flounder tend to move southerly during their life down. So, but North Carolina is really strict limits right now on flounder. They have been a traditional commercial fishery for flounder, where we've been traditionally a recreational fishery for flounder. So a lot going on there. But again, flounder is just something people love to fish for here. And we want to do what we can to protect them. We'll see where this goes this year. It may not pass this year. It's being talked about a lot, but we'll see what happens. But the main focus, though, to keep in mind is that what do we need to do? How can we balance this between, maintaining the future of flounder as our fishery overall, and then how do we maintain the ability of our sportsmen and women to be able to go out there and fish for flounder too?
Right.
So that's always a delicate balance.
Let me throw a question at you from a listener here in the Myrtle Beach area, and thank you, Mike, for tweeting at us and listening to us in our affiliate, WSEA FM 100.3 FM in Myrtle Beach. We really appreciate that. And Major Mike wants to know, he's relatively new to South Carolina, how far east does the wild turkey range reach? He's in Myrtle Beach. He's curious how far he needs to go to hunt them. So again, how far east does the wild turkey range reach there in the Myrtle Beach area?
Okay, so the question for that, the answer to that would be, again, we have turkeys in every county. So there are turkeys in Horry County. So right there in his county, there are turkeys there. Are they east of 17, between 17 and the beach? Probably not. Don't know that turkeys are out there sunbathing on the beach. But certainly in, the less populated areas of Horry County, we have a very healthy turkey population. There is some WMA land there that does intermingle around 17, and certainly there are some turkeys. There is a turkey population there, so it's not far for him to have to go to look for turkeys. I'm not sure about. I have to look and see what's available for hunting from a WMA land in Horry County for turkeys, and I'll try to look that up while we're talking. But again, turkeys in every part of the state. So Horry County doesn't have to go far. When he says east, I'm assuming he's talking, 17 is that line there, and I'm not sure that there's a lot as far as east of 17 toward the beach for sure. Certainly not on Ocean Drive.
Well, what
but
about?
There's several good WMAs there.
Maybe he's confused, and maybe he's kind of like not sure. Well, of course, we all should know where the east is because that's where the water is. But let's just say the other direction, going west. Let's apply the question that way. How far does that turkey range go that way?
Absolutely, it's all the way to the mountains. But where he's at, there's some good WMAs there. There's Woodbury WMA, which is not far from him over in Marion County. Very dense forest, good turkey land there. That's west of him, within about 45-minute drive of Myrtle Beach. Conway for sure. There's the Waccamaw River Heritage Preserve, WMA. That's right there, very close to him as well. So there's a lot of different areas close to him that he could look at. If he goes west, he's going to find even more turkeys the farther west in South Carolina, particularly to the Sand Hills. A lot of turkeys in that area, in the PD area as well.
All right. Hopefully that answered the question one way or the other. By the way, let's talk about there was a tweet from South Carolina DNR earlier this week where you guys opened up a new office of some type down in the Aner area. What can you share with us on that?
So new licensing office, years back when the state went through some rough times, we closed a lot of our traditional offices. We had an office in Horry County, and happy to say that the Aner office is now open. That's going to be able to sell licenses there, I believe, and do some simple boat registrations as far as maybe renewals for the most part. But that's the Aner office. They're looking at that. So definitely be able to do some licensing there. So that's going to be a new opportunity and helps folks in that Horry County area, George County area now have to go all the way to the Florence office, because right now everybody's been having to go to the Florence office to do licensing and any kind of simple boat titling questions and paperwork. So the Aner office is now open. That just opened up this week. So thank you for reminding me, Phil. That was a great piece put out for folks in the Horry County area and Georgetown area. So Aner will be a good place to start going to do some licensing. Again, basic boating stuff.
All right. And last couple of minutes tonight, Major. We'll be with you again in a couple of weeks. But a lot of folks are out on spring break. A lot of kids are out, and I'm sure a lot of them are out in the fields. They're on the water. What kind of words of advice do you have for the youngsters out there to better enjoy their spring break in the outdoors?
Well, absolutely. Anytime it gets hot like it is now, folks head to the water. We are a boating state. We've talked about that many times on this show. So just a reminder to folks, you get out in the boat, particularly this time of year, probably the first time you got back in that boat, remember, check for your safety equipment. Make sure you got a life jacket for everybody in the boat. Make sure the life jacket fits everybody in the boat. Make sure it's in good working order. Doesn't have any rips or tears in it. And make sure it's where you can get to it. It's readily accessible. Make sure your lights work on your boat so that if you're out at night, that you can be seen. Make sure you got your registration card and your registration is current and up to date. Remember, our registration process has changed, and now you will pay your taxes to the county, and you'll pay your registration fee right then, like you do for your car, and then you'll automatically be sent your registration paperwork. That's the new process now. You pay your taxes every year to the county, and they'll send your registration for your boat. So that's how it's going to work now, which will help out tremendously on resale of boats. We've had that issue for a long time by people who try to buy a boat and then find out when they start trying to do the paperwork that that boat has owed 3 years of back taxes, and now you're responsible for it, which is always seemed unfair. Yeah, it's always seemed unfair, but now that's ended because taxes are year to year. So that will help tremendously there.
All right. Very quick. I think we have a quick call for you. Yes. We got about a minute and a half. Thank you for that, Pat. Steve in Augusta, if you can go quickly, we'll get your answer back to you. What you got for the Major?
Hey, slow as I talk, I don't know if a minute and a half will last, but I just wanted to simply tell you guys I appreciate this show. I find myself every Wednesday wondering if this is the week that the show's going to be on. So I just want you to know that even though I'm in Georgia, I grew up hunting down in Allendale, South Carolina, and it's always great to hear y'all. And Representative Bill Hickson was in our club down there, and I know he's a good supporter of outdoor activities. So thank you, and I appreciate your every other Wednesday show.
Well, we thank you. We are the first and third Wednesday of every month. Is that right, Major? First and third Wednesday?
That's right. That's right. And Bill Hickson is absolutely a friend of TNR. Great squirrel hunter. He loves the squirrel hunt. So I know Bill Hickson very well. He loves his squirrel dogs. So loves hunting, period. But he really loves squirrel hunting. So he's helped us before on a Tomo hunt. So I'll take one, make one hunt.
Steve, you talked plenty fast. We appreciate that, my man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Tell Bill that Bart Chandler gave him a shout out.
We'll do it. Thanks, sir.
Okay, great way to end it, Major. Any final thoughts?
No, sir. We'll catch back up next month. But again, folks on the water, remember, check your safety equipment before you get out there and enjoy the rest of our turkey season.
You take care, sir. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. See you.
Take care. Major Billy Downer, South Carolina DNR. As always, SC Wild. We appreciate him being on with us. Quickly, some baseball. Liberty beat Wake Forest 8-4. ULM beat Alabama 5-3. Arkansas leads Little Rock 8-3. Florida over Florida A&M 5-0. It's FIU leading Miami 2-1. Braves won twice today. That should make people happy. And we are happy to be done tonight. We'll be even happier to be with you tomorrow night from the Players Club, day one of the Masters here on Sports Talk. Join us at the Players Club in downtown Columbia. Until then, for Pat Daniel, Matt Smith, Phil Kornblut, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107.